What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Moving to Florida show. I'm your host, Judson Osmond, joined today by my co-host, Mohit Badlani.
What's going on, folks?
Here I go again, butchering the intro, Mo.
I know, right? You got to get you know me for like 4 years now, but you got to get my name right one of these days.
I got your name right that time. I just had trouble saying co-host. It's been a long day, buddy. It is not a happy hour, ladies and gentlemen, but we do have a great guest on today, so we're excited to talk to Jim McManus. He actually reached out to us, said he had recently found the show and was really enjoying it. He said he went back and binged all of the content, so that's fine. I know I do the same whenever I find a podcast I like. And Jim, we're going to let him tell us all about it, but he is actually born and raised in Florida, he told me, but he has a Florida-based company, Windstorm Products, which is the largest online distributor of hurricane hardware. So we're going to let Jim tell us exactly what that means. Jim, welcome to the Moving to Florida show.
Hey, guys. Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for reaching out to us, for sure. And we did put this together very quickly. That was just yesterday that email came through, and Mo and I were kind of talking and went, well, we don't have a topic picked out for tomorrow. We do try to record a few weeks ahead to make sure that we don't ever miss a show for you guys. But Jim, thanks so much for also coming on short notice.
Great. Perfect.
Well, hey, I kind of gave a spoiler there because one of the first questions we like to ask our guests is, are you from Florida or did you move here from somewhere else? So you did tell me that you were born and raised here, right? So tell us a little bit about your Florida story.
Native to Florida, born and raised in South Florida, moved up to Brevard County about 40 years ago and love living on the East Coast. My father moved to Fort Lauderdale as a young boy in 1936. So there's a lot of history there with the family and the greater family in Florida and the Florida market.
Well, very cool. From Fort Lauderdale, I can't imagine the growth that's happened over that time. We see where it is today, of course, but thinking, yeah, wow, 80, 90 years ago, it's blown up since then.
I can't even imagine what it was like then, but as you guys know, even if you've not been to one of the larger cities in just a few years, you go back and you hardly recognize a lot of areas. But, Florida's built on growth, and that's good for all of us.
Yeah. I just sold a couple of townhouses down in the Victoria Park area. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Victoria Park. I know you lived in Fort Lauderdale. For how many years were you in Fort Lauderdale?
About 25. So
25.
By memory, that's off of Las Olas. Would that be correct?
Yeah, it's close to Las Olas, yeah. I was in Los Angeles not too long ago. Man, it is gorgeous out there.
It is a very pretty place, and the water is just pristine down there too.
Yeah. So if you're planning on vacationing, I think, and you don't want that Miami crazy nightlife, I think Los Olas would be a little calmer version of that.
Yeah, Jim. So you're in Brevard County now. Palm Bay, I believe I saw, is where your business was located, at least.
We're happy to announce we just on June 1st moved from Palm Bay to Cape Canaveral, doubling our size, doubling our footprint.
Wow, so that's fantastic.
Yeah, a little closer to the coast and more accessible to anyone that wants to come and actually come through the door and talk about things in person.
Okay.
So you have a storefront now.
Yeah, we had before, but we're a little more retail oriented and with more space, you just get the opportunity to try new things and, see what appeals to everybody.
Well, Yeah, huge congratulations on that expansion then. That sounds exciting. So,
Judson, where are you coming from?
We were both in the Orlando area, but I moved to Florida. Wow, we're going on 7 years now. 7 years ago. From Louisiana.
Still a newbie.
That's right.
Yeah, I moved from Chicago in 98, so I've been here for quite some time now. I stopped counting years after the 10th year.
You've seen the changes.
I've seen the changes, yeah. But I've been mostly based in the Central Florida area, so it's like Kissimmee, Orlando, Celebration, Windermere, Winter Garden, that whole area. So I've seen a lot of growth. I mean, don't get me wrong, we hit coast to coast, Daytona and Tampa, and we've seen a lot of growth there as well too.
Yep. Jim, it's funny, when I moved here, so originally Winter Garden and now I'm in Claremont, which is, both west of Orlando. And when we moved here again, 6.5, 7 years ago, we would hear people, all the time, oh, all of this used to be orange groves. Now it's all, houses and new developments and, shopping centers and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, that's interesting. And now 7 years later, I'm driving around, I'm going, this used to all be orange groves. Like there's so many places that used to be orange
the crowd?
groves. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Okay. Especially in the last 4 years, we've seen a huge boom in the last 4 to 5 years.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I'm glad that I was just ahead of that. So Jim, Windstorm Products, I know you said it is the largest online retailer of hurricane hardware. So what does that mean? What is hurricane hardware? What are we really looking at there?
Hurricane hardware would be what you're going to call out the specialized fasteners for actually attaching some type of storm protection. A lot of the lineup bleeds into other uses, in general construction industry, but there is a tremendous amount of products out there specialized just for storm protection. And we take the name the largest online. We've developed about 35 or 40 products that are uniquely ours throughout the years. So we like to take that claim that because we do have more products than anyone else out there. Because of what we've developed on our own.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, so some proprietary things there.
Yes, yeah.
Very cool.
But the appeal of our product lineup is both to homeowners and contractors, both in the trade or other trades, and we're servicing the new installations on new construction for our contractor base. And we're servicing new installations if your house was built and did not have shutters originally. And then the third part of that would be replacement hardware, because at some point in time, little pieces and parts get moved around, are hard to find, or swept out the door. And so we're just a great source for picking up, what you're missing as well, too.
Okay, very good. Now you've mentioned the hardware, so it sounds like primarily it's the connectors, the pieces that hold them on. Do you also sell the hurricane shutters themselves?
We used to originally, and as time went on, the demand just continued. The emails, the phone calls were always much more focused on the hardware itself. And from the beginning, we did have that digital first footprint of shipping. We've always maintained the brick and mortar, but did want to move into this space of shipping. And it just became one of the things where we just evolved to really a fastener store that specializes in this end of the spectrum. And of course, it's just easier to package and ship if that's the direction we're heading as well too, as opposed to the larger items like the shutters, which generally people are handling regionally or making use of their own shutters by methods like plywood and things similar to that.
Right. Okay. So thinking about, our listeners is primarily going to be people looking to move to Florida. And we do get those questions a lot. What about the hurricanes? Is it something we really need to be concerned about? Do I need hurricane shutters? And here in Central Florida, where Mo and I are, we certainly do see people with hurricane shutters, but I think it's a lot less common than along the coasts. So, maybe, you're going to be an expert on this. Who really needs those? Or, our listeners, again, that are moving to the state and aren't familiar with hurricanes, what are the benefits and what are they really looking at there?
I certainly feel it's important for everyone in Florida to have them. And certainly if you've been through a storm or even experienced a storm close by, you're always very happy when it passes that you had that protection. But the benefits, of course, are to life safety, protect your property. And homeowners insurance is a big issue in Florida now. And you do get discounts if you're properly protected. And quite honestly, that drives a tremendous amount of our business. Someone gets a letter from the insurance company and they need to make sure that their house is properly protected. And as they go to different outlets and try to research and get educated, it just sort of funnels people to us. We're a great resource. We've got a lot of information on our website. And usually when people find us, they make contact with us a few times and make a purchase, and we guide them through it because, as you said, many people most of the people that do not have protection on their house are from other areas, and they need that help. They need that guidance in making the right decision for the type of house or structure they have.
Yes, absolutely. And, Jim, I was digging around on the website a little bit before we, hopped on the call here. And I did see just that, it looks like you have a lot of resources, a lot of information out there, which is always, very helpful. And for you listeners, that website, by the way, windstormproducts.com.
Nice. I'm checking out the website now as well. I was checking it out earlier. So what got you into the hurricane hardware side of things?
I'm a second generation Florida general contractor, as my father was, and I've always been, in this arena of some sort. But probably about 25 or 30 years ago, I got involved with distribution and ran and sold for many of the centers that produce these products. And I went ahead and jumped off on my own within a different company doing an installation model. But then as the internet grew and the ability to have a storefront on the internet, I just immediately gravitated towards that. And in 2008, decided that it's the direction we wanted to go full time, and have never looked back, and thoroughly enjoy it. It's amazing the amount of people you meet and talk to, and from different areas. Sometimes we'll be sending products to, let's say Alaska. And you often want to scratch your head as you're sending a nice order out to Alaska. But then as you end up talking to somebody down the line, well, yeah, I'm up here working in the oil business or whatever the industry is, but I've got a vacation house every 3 months I go to in Costa Rica. All your products are going right in my suitcase, and away they go. So it is funny how wide a net it does cast. And I really enjoy that, the people coming from all types of areas and different uses for the products.
Very nice. So I'm guessing you probably get a lot of calls from the South America region as well?
The Caribbean region, yes. Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. And right. Yeah, we can make some assumptions if we're sending product out to San Diego. We're just making the assumption that somehow it's going to make it down to Cabo. Any area that you're sending to that is not a storm area, you notice a trend after a while that people are getting it and taking it elsewhere, which is just great as well too.
All right. Do you mind me asking, where do you manufacture all these? Do you manufacture them all on your own? Or do you buy it from another, like a big, huge plant?
We buy primarily from a big, huge plant. Obviously it's a regional product, and the manufacturers were very specialized, but throughout the years, consolidation happened. And eventually the largest part of this material was bought by Stanley Black & Decker. So the bulk of our lineup is under the DeWalt brand and DeWalt anchors. And what we've done is taken a lot of the standard hardware that you would use and focused on the accessories. Some of the hardware, there's a product called a male panel mate where a stud sticks out from the house. And for 30 years, that product's been around, and for 30 years, you could put a little white cap on it. Well, we took that same cap and then had it reproduced in several colors. So we're value added, I guess, is maybe on the products that we've helped bring to the industry, give a little more choice. And it seems to, have met well with the market too.
Very nice.
So, Jim, I don't know how well this will translate, being that we are, an audio-only podcast. And by the way, guys, we are hoping to do video eventually one day. We just aren't there
yet.
You bet. But, Jim...
When I get into my new house, when I get the background office and everything.
There you go. Just a whole lot more production goes into putting video out. But in any case, Jim, I am curious. I know you mentioned that you have, around 40-something proprietary products that you guys have come up with. Is there anything you could tell us about and kind of, explain briefly that might help us understand what the benefits to this new type of product are?
Primarily the products that accessory type products that we've developed either are helping make a more cosmetically correct end product for you, helping to match your home's exterior, or it's something as simple as we've had a manufacturer in Texas develop a specialized drill bit, whereas previously you had to use one drill bit, change it out, go back with a second drill. Now we have a combination drill bit. So any sticking point that we've identified throughout the years that seems like there's an opportunity if we found a solution, we've gone ahead and tried, and we've been very fortunately, literally, our guess as to what the market wanted has been a hit almost every time. So that's good. And of those products, 35 or 40 products, they have all been manufactured in the U.S. So that's a nice plus as well too.
Always a bonus, absolutely. Well, that's good. It sounds like these products you're producing are making it a more efficient process to actually put these hurricane shutters on, which we have, told our listeners many times, hey, yeah, hurricanes happen, but usually you got a heads up. They don't just show up and they're, there in an hour. You have usually a little bit of time to prepare, but I can imagine that's part of that preparation process is getting those hurricane shutters on. So anything you can do to make it more efficient definitely sounds beneficial.
And as you mentioned, and the moving to Florida show, the many people we get phone calls or emails, I saw this at someone's house. I don't know what it is, but I need it for my house. And that's like that's the starting point. Okay.
All right.
But,
what does it look like?
Yeah, we try to, encourage people to send pictures, and then we help people pull through the process. Do you have a frame house, a block house? And here would be the range of choices depending upon your structure, and then try to get a feel for people's installation skills. And some are easier to install than others. And as with any business, it's just a process of pulling and educating people through. That gives them a successful end product, because this is critical. If the need arises, it has to be installed correctly. You want it to function as designed.
Very nice. Now, you mentioned that you've started working with builders. How does that look like for you right now?
Obviously, it's been, it's high tide in Florida market right now for new construction. We're hoping it continues, but in the South Florida market, they have gravitated towards a lot of other things, including impact glass. But there is an economic choice you have to make, and it's quite expensive. And the alternative, if you're not with impact glass, would be to shutter. And so most of the builders, both custom and track outside of South Florida, are going the path of shutters, and we're happy to help supply that market too. Do either of you have storm protection on your own home?
No, I'm living in an apartment right now, so not at the moment. No.
Got it.
Yes, this is an ongoing thing. Mohit has been under contract for, what is it, a year and a half now?
It's going to be almost 2 years, start in January. So
it's taken them quite a long time to build his new home. And Jim, I just moved into a new construction home 7 months ago now. We've been here 7 months. So
don't rub it in.
Judson, did your home come with hurricane protection?
It did not come with hurricane protection. And here in the Orlando metro area, I'm not aware of any homes that come with it standard. Certainly it is something that some people do add after the fact, but I am not aware of any homes in the area that come with it. Certainly, maybe it may be an option with some builders, but I have not seen that before in our market.
And the code ranges, not only by the state, but also by the geography, how close you are to the coast. And there's several factors that are involved. But can I take you through that, Judson? Just
please.
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely.
So, Judson, do you have a block or a frame home?
It is block.
Okay. And about how many windows do you have? We found the average home has about 14.
I believe probably 12.
Okay. All right.
And another thing to be clear, and this is common here in our market, block first floor, frame second floor. Got
it. And so you have a 2-story?
Correct.
Okay. So from there, we would move on to questions about, the do you want a male fastener that sticks out from the house, or do you want a female that's flush with the house? And we talk about the pros and cons of each. Some are easier to install than others. Some have a lesser cost. And when you go through that process, it just, really the homeowner skills and the structure itself sort of leads you to the correct choices. And that's kind of what's been our success, helping people, find the right fit for their house. Because in the end, you do want, the goal is to be able to board up quickly and efficiently, and you want to do something like this once. You don't want to redo this a few years down the road, and that's the goal to work to, and it seems to be going well.
Okay, very good. Yeah, I mean, that's, it definitely sounds like you have a consultative approach to sales. You're finding out really what the customer wants and needs, and making sure you you can fit those needs. So something, very similar, of course, that we do as real estate agents. So I can definitely appreciate that.
Yeah, finding the root. That's awesome. The question I actually had was I was actually really impressed by your website about the About Us page. It shows a full breakdown of what's happening with windstorm products. If you want to talk about how you created this website and how this website has excelled on your side.
Sure. Like I said, when we started this, that was kind of a convergence of, the internet going from dial-up to, your high speed, the ability to get shopping cart type stores where you would just add your products to them. And it just appealed to me. The second I saw it, I knew that was where I wanted to be. So we've grown with that throughout time. And obviously our website has changed and grown and morphed with that. Mm-hmm. But, we do try to keep the layout of the site of what we do and what we offer pretty straightforward.
Yes.
Again, about us, a lot of things we do differently. Again, we offer no charge samples. We offer the widest selection. We are happy to special order. We are first in this market and the oldest, and we feel the most experienced as well too. So we just really try to continue to stay focused on the basics and just always either improve the product line or improve the experience to make it as frictionless as it can be for the customer and get the best results.
Fantastic. So here's my other question. I'm I guess somewhat of a handy person. Judson, how much of a handyman are you?
I'm way too much of a do-it-yourselfer.
Oh, really? You're more, all DIY. I'm that way too. About 80% DIY, and then whatever I don't understand, I can't find on YouTube, then I'll call my handyman. So as far as installation, so if someone comes to you and say, "Hey, I want to put shutters, and I want to add these items to my new home or my existing home," do you guys have people in the area that you reach out to help somebody install them?
Like a local contractor network, we do not. Okay. We try to keep that separation. We think there's value in that separation where we're delivering this product, and we want to be as direct to that as we can. So we're helping the right choices be made. And usually at this point too, when people are finding us, they're pretty, the intent's already been established that they're looking to install themselves.
Right.
They just need the guidance and help.
Yep.
Gotcha. Very good. Well, Jim, again, thank you so much for reaching out and for joining us on today's show on such short notice. Is there anything that you would like to mention? Anything we failed to ask you, or anything else here before we wrap up?
No, it's been great. Thank you for the opportunity, and those were great questions, and allowing us to showcase what we do and how we can help is very beneficial.
Very good. Well, again, guys, that website is windstormproducts.com. Did I get that right, Jim?
You bet.
All right. I didn't have it in front of me. That was from memory. So windstormproducts.com, guys. If you do, reach out to them, please do let Jim or his team know that, you heard them on the Moving to Florida show. We would certainly appreciate that, guys. And Mohit will wrap it up for us.
All right. Now we want to hear from you guys. You can reach us at our Moving to Florida show hotline by dropping a voicemail or texting us at 407-900-5859, or drop us a DM on Facebook or Instagram at Moving to Florida Show. And for Twitter, our handle is at Moving to FL Show. If you'd like to connect with us, if you have any questions, or if you need a realtor here in Florida, you can reach us at movingtofloridashow@gmail.com. Be sure to subscribe to the show if you like our content so that it would automatically download to your device and get you one step closer to moving to Florida.